That's the only way you can get a dog's attention sometimes. Do that to his fur. Also do that, and you'll really get his attention. I love to do that on a good snowy day. You see a dog, fairly stiff.
Jonathan Winters could flip literally anything given to him into the funniest thing the crowd heard all day.
Now, if you're a good actor, you do a lot of things. You're a good actor. If you could have, did you ever see a movie where you said, "Gee, I wish I could have played that part"?
Oh, yeah.
Like what?
Well, I would love to have been in
You ever do a Western?
I'm, of course, ready for it right now.
Well, that's true.
This is Jonathan Winters at his absolute funniest. The taping his cat to a tree line.
What other livestock do you have?
Now, another thing we don't have a lot of livestock. We have a stuffed pony. Kids are a little old now to ride the pony, but I like to reminisce. And
stuffed pony.
A lot of people have shot at it, and it's just full of holes, but it's out there, And then we have some cats that we've scotch taped on the tree. You've seen. Now you've seen the little cats. I guess they're cats, and some tigers. Tiger cats, little kitties.
Yeah.
In the car, with the little plastic things on
You
there.
mean the one
like this?
Yeah.
We've taken our cats and scotch taped them to the trees, so the birds have a ball. They can come right down to them.
So you got chickens, cats?
Chicken.
Few guests could ever describe a detail as completely absurd as this one and make it sound funnier and more believable than Jonathan's. The hilarious old age joke.
But I really, at our age, you're 49 now, aren't you?
Yes, that's true. Mm-hmm.
So am I. At our
As you
age,
said once on the show before, we're in that
in that final
glide
pattern. Yes. Think of that lady who was out here 105. That'll be interesting to see you doing the show at that age, Johnny. You and I, huh?
Sitting here.
You 105, me. Hi.
Are you still in the basement here?
Oh, don't get down there anymore. Too far to go. Oh, everything now is in one room.
A character voice demonstrates the joke rather than simply stating it outright, turning a common comedic subject into something more theatrical. Winters on being popular in school.
When you were in high school, were you popular?
Well, I thought so. Of course, we all have fantasies early. I was not what you see. I was much thinner, and I thought I was a lot brighter. And when you're thin, you are a lot brighter. Fat crowds the brain. And no, I was thin. I had a 32 waist. I'd been working in all kinds of factories in order to get into shape to get into the Marines. And I'd chosen that. I'd seen the post office sign, "We need you," and I believed that, you see. And elderly man, Uncle Sam, I would have gone for anybody, because I was failing geometry. And Uncle Sam needs you, right? Well,
And you went.
I went in about an hour. War had nothing to do with it. I was not getting along with Dad, and I was failing geometry. So I had to go. I felt the country was, I thought someplace along the line, I could stack overcoats or something like that, or maybe by luck, go through old films.
This moment is iconic for the simple reason that Winters' genuine response to the question broke Johnny Carson's composure completely. Johnny asks about his fear of earthquakes.
We've known each other for probably more than 30 years. I learned about something about you tonight. Somebody's talking about living in California. You've got a genuine fear of earthquakes out here? Somebody said you get a little stressful with them?
I don't care for them. If I had a decent seismograph there, it's not whatever they call it. I don't know what it is. I'm not that far into it. I saw the movie, and that was enough for me. That just everything went out. But I worry about my pets.
The people sitting around going,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Honey, can I make you a drink?
Well, I worry about my pets because they fall down.
We have to do
They're old.
Yeah. Oh.
And, they fall over. And when you get a major shake, the animals, especially the animals, stiff.
Jonathan's character voice answers Carson's question rather than a plain statement about being scared, demonstrating the fear instead of describing it. Why Winters used to steal corn.
You know, he probably comes from the Midwest. You were born in...
Yeah, I was
grew
born
up in Ohio.
That's right. You were born in Nebraska.
Nebraska, yeah.
Same thing, shucking corn.
Oh, yeah.
Did you shuck corn when you were a kid?
I sure did.
So did I.
Out there milking the cows.
We used to steal corn at night. I'm not proud of that.
Yeah.
But it was tough during the day. They catch you. We used to get corn on the cob, which is about this time now. It's getting a little dry out there, I guess, all through the Middle West, all over. You know, I fished 3 times. Well, it'll be my 3rd time. I started out fishing in Canada, a place called Separation Lake. Not a good name for a married guy, but for about 300 miles north of Bemidji, which is the beginning of the Mississippi River. You guys in Bemidji are probably sitting up saying, "He mentioned us." Oh, you stiffed me on Wonder Bread. Any rate, no. We went about 300 miles north.
Just to
it was
fish.
97 degrees in Canada, fishing for walleye. Finally, we had to use dynamite again. And,
Tell them that you don't mean
no, I'm kidding. We wouldn't dream of that.
That brings him to the surface real quick.
Increasing detail builds the theft into something much larger, with a small petty crime turning into an elaborate story nobody expected. Jonathan explaining why his son needs work.
Just kids are doing fine. Yeah, my boy's looking for work, and I don't know what he's going to do.
Has he decided yet?
No, he's going to be 25 in February, and he goes from one unusual job to another. But he's a good boy, and I told him, I said, hang in there, and I'm not going to give you any allowance or anything like that, just to sit around, and smoke a funny cigarette and listen to Bob Dylan. So I said, you're going to have to hustle,
Start cracking.
Oh, yeah, start cracking. And so he's out there, and he says, well, Dad, like yourself, I'm looking for some work.
Yeah. Well, your work is about as much as you want, don't you?
Well, yes, I really can't complain. I make a good living. I'm very happy. I really am very proud of the fact that I don't have any outstanding bills. There are a couple that I think we've got to look into soon.
What makes this line hilarious is Winters sounded somewhat bothered by his seemingly unmotivated kid, and then his son flipping his need for work back onto him, explaining why people didn't have time for relationships.
We didn't have sex education in school, as you know, was frowned on. At that time, in the 30s, people had no time for sex, period. A lot of people in the 30s were just shoveling, and doing this and just getting highways developed. And if you saw a pretty girl in a car, a guy went, and of course they had to hit him with a shovel, At 3 cents a day, what the hell. At any rate, no, there were several girls that I was very fond of.
Yeah.
And very excited. I mean, I was an only child, and so a lot of the stuffed animals were taken by bullies. And
how old were you when you had your first sexual experience? No, I don't.
That's a very tough subject.
I know it is.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, because I was an only child, I really don't know.
Were you alone at the time?
Oh, I certainly was.
The claim gets attached to some specific historical or cultural detail rather than a vague statement about busy schedules. Roasting his own military uniform?
And,
do you wear this uniform when you...
Sometimes, yeah. Sure.
Nothing wrong with that.
Just the cape, no pants.
That's right.
That's right.
You react battle scenes, I suppose?
Many times she'll say things like, I don't know what she means by that. Don't you have a ball game to watch? 4 o'clock in the morning, I don't think many of them are playing. Well, at any rate.
Yeah. Now, how do you deal going down doing a show? As you say, you're not as young as you used to be. A lot of stress doing a show?
Yeah, there is a lot of stress.
You take your painting materials down there?
Oh, no, there's not that time. Usually I just get the legs begin to go. I was talking to an athlete the other day, a professional. He told me it was on a bus. And
You had no way of knowing it.
I had no way of knowing. I knew he was on a bus. He was in trouble. So he said he played with the Washington Redskins, and he said, the first thing to go, John talked very fast, and he was trying to get off. He couldn't get off the bus. His legs were really gone. And so somebody just dragged him off and faced him again.
Self-deprecation about his own appearance gave Winters an easy target, and turning that lens onto his old military uniform specifically lets him mock a piece of his own history rather than an abstract subject. His flaw in the fit or look of the uniform gets described rather than a vague statement about looking foolish in it, and that explanation made the joke land harder than a general comment about military fashion ever would have managed. Johnny's reaction builds as Winters piles on more detail about exactly how poorly the uniform actually suited him, since each new addition made the original garment sound worse than the one before it. Jonathan Winters and Carson's Christmas party story.
You have been in the past, been to Christmas parties. Both of us been to Christmas parties years ago where we had, more than...
Well, where we had to crawl out, on our hands and knees and try to make out where the car is. Yeah. It's embarrassing to spend a whole evening, where is my car? Mr. Winters, don't you know? No, I wouldn't have said that. I know. What kind of car is it? I don't know that.
Or if you brought one.
The real car is a black car.
Now,
The tires.
Yeah, but this time of year now, do you go out shopping at all?
Oh, yes.
You do?
I do. Mm-hmm. I understand a lot of executives and from all walks of life just kind of say, Helen, get a lot of stuff. Send it to the employees.
Shared history between the two men gave this story a different texture than Winters' usual solo anecdotes, since both of them apparently lived through whatever happened at this particular party together. Specific details that Carson can presumably confirm or dispute in real time narrates the event, rather than simply asking the audience to accept the account passively without any outside verification. That collaborative quality involving two people recalling the same memory from slightly different angles gave the segment an energy neither man's solo storytelling could fully replicate on its own. Carson's own contributions to the story shape how far Winters takes the exaggeration, since he has an actual witness sitting right next to him capable of pushing back on any detail that strays too far from what actually happened. How Winters cuts back to save money.
What have you been doing lately? Haven't seen you for a while.
I've been doing literally nothing. I've been watching prices soar. And I'm now going back into my old wardrobe, wearing things with the little funny narrow lapels, cutting back.
Yeah.
And wearing shoes that are worn. These rascals are shot, but I'm cutting back. Boy, I'm making a lot of cuts. No, I haven't done
Are you turning the
anything
thermostat down at all? Huh?
Oh, yeah, we turned that off.
Turn it completely off.
That off. I'll tell you, seriously, we had a friend of ours come out here from Ohio. She's back in Columbus, and...
Financial material gave Winters an easy, relatable premise, and a bit about cutting back probably escalates from a reasonable-sounding budgeting tip into something far more extreme and absurd than anyone in the audience originally expected to hear. His supposed cost-saving method gets listed with mock seriousness by treating an obviously exaggerated sacrifice like genuine financial wisdom worth sharing with a national television audience. That structure of a sensible-sounding claim immediately undercut by an absurd detail was one of his most dependable comedic shapes across every era of his career. Johnny's amusement builds once the actual cutback reveals itself as something nobody would seriously attempt under any realistic financial circumstances. Winters on going back to Ohio.
You get back to Ohio often?
Oh, I haven't been back for really. That's real hard. Well, I'm sorry about the Reds. Can't throw baseballs at those guys and hurt them, and do that. At any rate, no, I get back every once in a while. There's always a guy with a toothpick, Hey, how you doing, John? Very good to see you. How you doing out there? We don't see you. We don't get what you do here. Well, do you get anything? Not a lot. Not a lot. The only thing in my section of Ohio, the river's dried up. Fish are just there in the dust.
They're good eating, though.
That's all, yeah.
Already get yourself some trout jerky.
It's like a chicken, if you hit a chicken in the road, we used to just throw it in the back of the pickup. Take it
Get
home.
yourself some Tennessee pizza.
It wasn't common for Johnny to ask such a question to Jonathan, since so much of his best-known material traced directly back to people and places from his actual childhood growing up there. Some aspect of returning to Ohio gets described with genuine affection before sliding into one of his recurring characters, inspired directly by the area and the people who lived in it.
Just the best.
Put that on there right there. They've already been cleaned. They've been gutted and cleaned. You take everything
We're
off.
going to just take a break here. Well, have you ordered the Prozac? And we'll be right back after this. Stay where you are. All right, we're back to clown school here, folks. We've known each other for probably more than 30 years. I learned about something about you tonight. Somebody's talking about living in California. You've got a genuine fear of earthquakes out here? Somebody said you get a little stressful with them?
I don't care for them.
That connection between real biography and his gallery of invented voices was consistent with how he approached nearly all his Ohio-related material throughout his entire career on that stage. Carson's familiarity with these references helps the conversation move quickly, since this territory was clearly well-covered ground between the two of them by this point in their long history together. Now that you've made it to the end, this video should have proved that even the smallest personal detail, a uniform or a budgeting tip, could become the funniest thing in the room once his imagination decided it was worth exploring. So, which Jonathan Winters moment from this video made you laugh? Drop your pick in the comments and subscribe for another part of Winters' moments at his funniest. See you later.